What's good, everybody? Christian Pedersen here, back with another episode of the San Diego Prep Insider High School Football Podcast, brought to you by Palomar Insurance. Week 2 is here. Let's do the preview thing. I'll be the floating head, move into every game. So if you are looking for your game, you can scroll around until my head is popped up next to it. I will also throw out that, oh man, I am a verbal faux pas and things on some of the, I like to say for every one of these 0-1 teams, big bounce back week. So bear with me if I say some repeat things on all this analysis. There's a lot of football games to talk about. Game 1 here, though, Imperial and Vincent Memorial. Imperial showed us last week they are very good. I kind of on could they be top 10 watch with every one of these games. Darren Hueso is a fantastic football player, so I expect Imperial to continue until let me put it this way, until further notice. We should expect big things out of Imperial every week. Oh, also, this first batch of 5 games are Thursday. Claremont, San Ysidro. San Ysidro is a team that is always not desperate, but every non-league win they can pick up is huge in the postseason potential seeding. So this one's big for them. Claremont's a 5AA team, so all of this is just learning because they're going to get into the playoffs anyway. But I think another one where this is a very important game. Look at that 1-0 next to Orange Glen. Good job, boys. Getting out there early with the dubs this season. I don't know. Let's see what they got. Can they build on that? Are we going to this? I say this sarcastically. It's uncharted territory, but the last couple of years for Orange Glen have not had fantastic starts. So to see how high they can take this will be fantastic. Calexico and Southwest El Centro. I'm always waiting for Calexico to round the corner. They start fantastic. They play a tough league. They level out in terms of the results, but every year they start off just red hot, so look to them to go potentially 2-0 here. Hilltop and El Cajon Valley, both schools that I was curious what the offense was going to look like coming into the season, and we saw a little bit of it week 1, but I'm looking for them to really find their identities and come out big here. Okay, on to the Friday games. Valley Center, SFC. Valley Center, I got to see them in person against Bishops last week. They are good. Losing to Bishops is nothing to laugh at. SFC is in that same category. So if Valley Center does start the season 0-2, don't dismiss them. They are good. SFC starting to get top 10 votes. So if they go 2-0, look for them to get more of those. Look at the 1-0 next to both of these squads, O'Farrell and Coastal Academy. This is just a good game now. This is no longer a fun story for one or the other. There's 2 schools that are just getting better at football as every day goes by. Coastal Academy looked probably like they will edge out they're the favorite in this one, but either one of these schools starting 2-0 is great. The Raiders versus the Betty Davis East Anchorage. Go Southwest San Diego. They're obviously the in-section school, so we root for them, but I'm very big on them still having potential to be league champs, and they always find their identity a couple weeks in. Mar Vista with Luke Everett and the young guys, the young guns getting a dub out the way. Victory Christian Academy, tough week 1 opponent. If Mar Vista, though, can go 2-0 to start the season, look for them to maybe not need momentum, but then have the momentum. Olympian, they seemed high on the vibes when I saw them at the SDFNL scrimmage. They were very big on this is going to be a good year for them. They start 1-0. 2-0 is not 10-0, but if they can go 2-0, I much more into the category of I believe it as opposed to it just being hype. Again, all of these games are Friday. Sweetwater, RBV. Sweetwater, the silent execution the last couple of years. They just get it done. RBV, they are headed in the right direction as a program, and I look for this to be a closer game than it has been, a bigger challenge for either one of these schools to come out here with a dub. This is just good football. Chula and Bonita, both teams. Like I said, I run into some verbal typos here of saying just games on games. Both schools could benefit from a win. That's an obvious. But on the serious note, both of these schools have the potential and the route in the season to still be very successful, and it starts with a week 2 win. God, I love this. I love this part of the year when you have these crazy week to week non-league matchups, and I love all schools and I love all things, but it to me is kind of special when it's in section bloodbaths. This one is included. This is going to be a great game. I'm assuming that Granite Hills is the favorite, given that Zachary Benitez started the season out with some school records for passing. He is on a good one. But if Mater Dei falls to 0-2, that means the only thing that means is they're not going to the Open. It means nothing else in terms of their general success. They will be a very good football team this year. Look at that. Eastlake 1-0. Good for them. Obviously, we root for them here being the in-section team versus a non-section opponent. But on the serious note, there has been a lot of questions the last 10-ish years about when is Eastlake going to be back. shouldn't have fallen off. How are they going to get back? Is this the year that it happens? Repeat what I said about the modern day Granite game. This is fantastic. I love that neither of these teams are shying away from it. I love that neither of these teams are like, oh, we couldn't find anybody here. This is North County versus East County. This is as just cross, like two different styles of football, two different breakdowns of how they see the game, how they see everything. Like, this is fun. If this was the Open Division Championship, I'd be like, great year of football. But yeah, 1-0 LCC, 1-0 Mount Miguel. This is a fight for who gets to go into Open Division. I know it's only week 2, but this is kind of one of those ones where, like, loser of it has a much harder route to making Open than winner does. Para 0-1 schools meeting up here. Saints technically hasn't won a regular season game since 2023. Whatever. Like, they're playing tough opponents again. They play tough football. Del Norte, they struggled against Point Loma last week, more because Point Loma is fantastic than anything else. So both of these teams, they look like they have the pieces to go places this year, but they just got to figure it out. Santana looked good last week. Crawford looked, not like, obviously they took the loss, but they also looked good last week. But I think that Santana's got some pieces there this year that could see a deeper run with a lot of success. Escondido Charter looked electric. Maranatha Christian lost to Coastal Academy in a high-scoring, fun game. So I give this one a toss-up. Two schools hungry for a win here, El Cap and Montgomery. I think Montgomery, man, they need to find one offensive playmaker this season, and they'll be there. Defense is good. Special teams they got that taken care of. Someone will rise up as Montgomery's offensive playmaker and help them out to great success this season. Holtville, Mission Bay. This is a good game in every way, shape, and form. Holtville beats West Hills last week. Mission Bay has Trey Arnold set a school passing record. So two really exciting schools. I'm not going to do, I think that they're the favorite, here's the spread or something like that. But either one of these ones getting a dub is a huge, huge boost for the season. Cathedral looked great week 1. They are the in-section team. We root for them here. Honor Favale Johnson, also fantastically hyped up recruit, but is backing it up. Madison Steel Canyon has been a great game the last couple of years, should continue to be a great game. This one, though, is good. Like, if Steel Canyon can start 2-0, like, look out. El Camino's the in-section school, so obviously we root for them, but they're getting top 10 votes now, and this, obviously another win would only bolster that resume, but it more solidifies it in a way of, like, hey, they're there this year. Palo Verde Valley, the in-section team. So again, we always root for whoever's in-section here, but let's get them back to 1-1. Mountain Empire can start 2-0 would be fantastically important and huge for their momentum season to help pick up some playoff seeding. So look for them to give a good fight. Grossmont defense looked really good last week, and if they can keep getting after it, not that people are going to average 40 sack seasons, but if you can have a disruptive defensive front like Grossmont does, you can stay competitive in a lot of games. Two 1-0 schools here, two good football schools. Howard Bannister, the new head coach for Otay Ranch. Congratulations on getting your first dub there as a Bronco. I don't know, man. Either way, like whoever wins this and goes 2-0 has a fantastic resume. Obviously, we're rooting for Foothills Christian here. They're playing the 11-man now, so at some point, whatever one of these is the first win is going to be the first 11-man win for them in a very big moment. Para 0-1 schools that like someone's got to get a dub here. Someone's going to pick up a win that's going to end up, I think, in the end being huge, because both of these schools, every single win is going to be a huge benefit for them potentially making playoff seeding. Poway, Ramona, and Poway. Two really good, hard-nosed running schools. Poway has looked good ever since the playoffs last year. They caught fire. Not that there's an immediate rollover, but, there seems to be a little bit of vibes rollover if this is just an offensive group that loves to ground and pound. Now, Ramona could be a perfect spoiler, though. Brawley and RB, this is a big opportunity for RB to start 2-0 and really solidify that top 10, because Brawley is always a tough opponent, but this is also a rematch from a playoff game last year that got testy, tense, whatever you want to call it. This will have fun vibes. 1-0 versus 1-0, two schools that both have shown that they have the pieces. A little bit of a difference in size of schools, but that's what makes some of these non-leagues fun. Look, if Mount Carmel can finally have their quarterback stay healthy all season long, they will be very, very good. UC looked absolutely fantastic out the gate. West Hills ran into a very good Holtville team, but UC, though, that offense is going to produce historic potential yardage. Helix, the in-section team, obviously we root for them, but we root for them in the sense that, like, look, come on, Helix, let's go. Round the corner, break out, get back this year. Army Navy, Castle Park, both 1-0, both excited to go to 2-0, so expect a year from both of them. But Army Navy, their established pieces are pretty overwhelming. Scripps Ranch and Warner, obviously, or Warren, apologies. Not apologies. You're a non-section team. Get out of here. We're rooting for Scripps Ranch. Central Union Spartans, they are the in-section team. We go for them over Palm Desert because, look, we get all these non-section teams. You are getting a trend here that not unbiased journalism. We root for our San Diego section squads. Kearney and Monte Vista, if Monte Vista can start 2-0, if Kearney can get back to 1-1, both of those have importantly different narratives for both schools, but Monte Vista, the defending champs, if they can go 2-0, you look at the rest of their schedule, they will at least be an above 500 team, so they don't get to qualify as like a surprise if they would go back to winning another championship. Like I was saying, we root for all the in-section versus non-section. This is a heck of a game. This is it's going to... I know that Long Beach Poly is not what it was in the 90s and that early 2000s. And for me to say not what it was in the 90s or early 2000s immediately makes me a boomer to a certain section of my audience. But at one point, Long Beach Poly was like the squad in all of the Western Hemisphere. This game is really important. Lincoln getting this dub here is going to be fantastic for them to go to 2-0. They are the number one section team. I've talked too much about them. Mira Mesa, Valhalla, both 1-0. Valhalla, I think that this could be a very good Valhalla team this year. So Mira Mesa is a great test. Either of these squads going 2-0 completely puts them in the, hey, let's put them in the others receiving votes category for are they maybe not top 10, but like that next group down. San Pasquale, Torrey Pines, you sons of guns, you beat my Vikings. All right, I guess I got no option now but to root for Torrey Pines to win a CIF championship so that it validates my L for the Vikings. Now, on a serious note, Torrey Pines look very good. San Pasquale, though, with Robert Renteria, their quarterback, he looks exactly where he left off last year, which is fantastic. So they are the winner of this game has a very valid 2-0. Mission Hills, the in-section team. Troy Huhn, one of the best quarterbacks in section. So we're already pulling for them. But, Mission Hills staying in that open division conversation all season long is much better for the section. So let's get to them to 2-0. All right, our last little bracket of games here. Thanks for sticking around if you all the way through, or if you've skipped just to where your little squad is. As always, appreciate you guys watching this. Fallbrook, they are the in-section school. We root for them. Fallbrook going 2-0 is awesome. Fallbrook is a squad that has made a couple of deep runs, but run into just, other generational talent in the playoffs. And so I think that there is a perception that Fallbrook football has not been back or whatever, but they're back. They're good. If they go 2-0 and they keep going, you look like eventually they'll break through and be a champion somewhere. And I don't know anything about how this new division system is going to benefit or hurt other schools, but Fallbrook easily going to go 2-0. I shouldn't say easily, but we're rooting for them to go 2-0. Tri-City is the in-section squad, so rinse and repeat for all my homerism. But let's go. Small school graduation hurts and hits in certain waves, but there's a new squad here at Tri-City Christian this year to hopefully answer the bell at some point this year. Dog, yes. I said this on the first slide about the Granite Hills and the LCC games, but I love the in-section violence. I don't know if Instagram's going to tag me for saying violence, but this is great. This is great in North County, and if Oceanside goes 0-2 because they lost to two really good in-section squads, the only thing that means to me is that Oceanside could potentially absolutely thwack a D2. There is no doubt. Oceanside is proving that if you build the program back and you go after the big schools and you it's very doable to get there. And Carlsbad starting 2-0 keeps them in the open division conversation. And the wider we can make that field, the later into the season, it's great. So who's going to win? I have no idea. I'm not good at football analysis. I just talk about football. But nonetheless, if you are up in the North County with nothing else to do Friday night, this is absolutely where you should be. San Marcos is the in-section school. We are rooting for them. Obviously, their offense, they gave Mount Miguel a hell of a fight last week. They're good. They lost. This is one of those ones where football going to football sometimes. So don't expect San Marcos to have like a bad season or anything like that. They'll be in this one. Escondido and Classical Academy, 2 squads hungry for a dub to help correct the early season woes. But either one of these squads, someone's going to have to obviously get the win. But I think this win goes a long way with either one of these teams building up some confidence this year. All right, last but not least, my beloved La Jolla Vikings. They are taking on Patrick Henry. I have said before, I will say it again, I am not a biased journalist. I am a biased journalist. I'm not an unbiased journalist. I love La Jolla. I went to La Jolla. I played for that football program. And not that anybody cares. And it makes me just an old head being I'm Unk. I get it. My boy. But, it's part of the perks of the job is I get to root for my Vikings. That being said, Patrick Henry is also a very good team. They have definitely some pieces that are being put together and they're going to be good the rest of the season. So either way, one of these two schools is going to wind up as an 0-2 school, but I don't think that either one of these schools, that doesn't feel like a red alert for either school. But that being said, go Vikings. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into week 2. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on whatever platform you're watching on this. A reminder, that's all brought to you by Palomar Insurance.